let's face it, the reason why you didn't achieve your goals in 2024 is because you relied solely on a vision board. Now, before you type away in anger, please just hear me out, because I am a firm believer in manifestation and the law of attraction. So I do think that vision boards can be helpful for visualizing your goals. However, because I believe in manifestation, I also believe that it takes at least a little bit of action on your part for your goals to actually happen and for your manifestations to come true. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is taking action and knowing what actions to take. So by implementing that ideology, I guess you could call it, by implementing that way of thought, I was able to achieve a lot of my goals in 2024. So if you are someone who didn't get to do everything you wanted to do last year, hopefully these tips in this video will help you, because I learned from trial and error. There were many years I did just a vision board and did absolutely nothing towards it, and then just gave up. But last year, like I said, was the year, one of my most successful years ever. And I think a lot of it is due to these tips that I'm going to share with you. So if you finally want to achieve all the things on your vision board this year, here are some of my personal tips. Number 1, treat your goals like a checklist. I am someone who has a to-do list every single day to make sure that I stay on track and see what I'm missing. And usually it goes well, because if I don't have a to-do list, then I kind of just rot in bed all day, because I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so apparently I have nothing to do. And that same mindset may also be affecting your goals for the new year, because the years that I didn't even think about my goals, I may have had goals, but I never wrote them down. I literally forget about them halfway through the year. And halfway is being generous, because I'll probably forget about them in a month. The month February comes around, what goals? So by having a checklist and a to-do list, you can check off your goals and see, where you're going right and where you're going wrong. I feel like I'm not explaining this well, but I mean, the way a checklist helps you in your daily life can help you in your whole year, because like I said, you can see exactly your goals. You can see what you haven't done, what you have done. And for me, I like to set it up that I have one overarching goal. I have multiple goals, right? Multiple big goals. For example, my goal was to get my driver's license. So that is my big goal, get my driver's license. Then I put 3 steps that I can take to go towards that. So I'm not thinking off the top of my head. I think it was drive 6 hours at night. I don't remember what the other steps were, but I'll probably show it here. But I had those 3 steps, and then as I completed them, I checked it off. And then once I completed those, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the big goal. And I actually took my driver's test and I got my driver's license. So I knew that to reach that big goal, I had these steps, and once I did them, I would be ready. Now, that is a more straightforward goal, but there are other goals hold on, let me actually pull up. I'm on my computer. Let me actually pull up my goals for 2024. Okay, a big one was for me to be more social. And that is kind of a vague goal. So I had 3 steps below that to check it off. So I knew that I was more social this year because I took these 3 steps, right? So when you put it like that, you can check it off. And honestly, the amount of dopamine that I get from finally checking something off my list feels so good. So I think that's another benefit to treating your goals like a checklist. And in that, I realized that I kind of touched on my second tip, which is to create bite-sized steps. So a big goal can feel really overwhelming because you're like, for this year, I want to start a crochet business. And that is a really big thing for me because I know that's going to take a lot of effort and time. And it feels overwhelming because it's like, where do I even start in my goal? So to make it less overwhelming and to make you more likely to actually complete it, breaking it down into bite-sized goals really helps. So if my goal, like I said, is to start a crochet business, then one step would be to start the actual Etsy page, like just create the Etsy page. That's it. Another step would be to create a stock for my shop. So once I crochet 10 items, I know that, okay, that's a good number to start with, and I can put that on my shop. And then the last step would be actually putting those items and making listings for them on my Etsy shop. And right there is 3 steps that I can take to make sure that I actually start the crochet business. Because I can say, oh, I want to start a crochet business all I want, but if I don't take the necessary steps to get there, then it really means nothing. So breaking your goals down into smaller steps can really help make it seem less scary to actually complete. Tip 3 is to have tangible and quantitative goals, okay? Now, I don't know if in school they made you make SMART goals, but they were kind of onto something with that, because having a goal that you can actually measure is really, really helpful to actually complete it. So like last year I said my goal was to be more social. That is not a very like measurable goal. Like, how do I know if I'm more social? Like, I could be more social than last year just because I talked to one more person. And if that is your goal, then you did it, right? So having like a quantity, like, oh, I want to make 3 more friends, instead of saying I want to be more social, the quantity is 3 and making more friends. So I know that I was more social this year because I made 3 new friends, right? Another example of something tangible, like something you can actually touch, physically see right there in front of you, would be like learning to do the splits, because you know you've completed that goal because you can physically see that, oh, I can do the splits now. But saying I want to be more flexible is very vague, and it's like, how do I know if I'm more flexible? Like, if I start the year not touching my toes and then I touch it at the end of the year, then yeah, I'm more flexible. But is that where I want to set my goal at, or do I want to set the bar higher, you know? So having like a very measurable goal that is very obvious, you know that it's completed because you can physically see it or you reach a certain quantity, that is the best way to make a goal, because like I said, you can see that you've completed the goal. I feel like I'm being really repetitive here, but I just don't know how to express how important it is to have a way of measuring your goals. Now, tip 4, and this is where I went wrong, okay? I feel like I could have done even better. I probably could have completed all of my goals last year if I applied this tip, which is to do checkups, or weekly, monthly. You could do daily checkups, but I wouldn't recommend it. That sounds exhausting. But just checking in on your to-do list and seeing what you haven't done yet, and seeing what steps you can take in the upcoming week or the upcoming month to see more progress towards your goals. Because, okay, you can set a goal and then forget about it like I used to do. And then it's like, so by checking in either weekly or monthly, you know exactly where you stand in your goals, and you know exactly what you need to do because you broke it down into bite-sized steps, right? So just checking in frequently as you can. Probably not daily, because like I said, that sounds really exhausting. But just like every once in a while, check in so you can remember your goals and you can become motivated again, hopefully. And yeah, tip number 5 is be willing to adjust. And this goes both ways. Adjust upwards or adjust downwards, right? So you did your weekly or monthly check-in and you see that, oh, this goal was really easy. I already completed it. Like my my goal, one of my goals was to read 12 books and I completed that pretty fast. So I'm like, well, I can be done, or I can adjust my goal to make it even better and make even more progress. So that's what I did. I said, okay, then I'll read 20 books this year. And I was able to complete that. I got a little busy, but literally on New Year's Eve, I finished those 20 books. So I was willing to adjust and go upwards, because it is okay if your goal was really easy to just make it harder to motivate yourself to be even better, because that's the point of making goals, to better yourself. So don't just settle for your original goal if you realize it's too easy. But the same thing goes if the goal is too hard, okay? Sometimes we're very imaginative at the beginning of the year and maybe it's not realistic, okay? Be willing to adjust downwards. So maybe I wanted to crochet 10 things this year and I realized I just don't have time. There's no way I'm going to crochet 10 things, and that's okay. You realize that your goal is not achievable at the moment, but instead of giving up completely, you adjust, adapt, and lower it to somewhere is still will require effort and make you step outside of your comfort zone, but not too hard that it just feels like there's no way I will ever complete that, right? So instead of doing 10 crochet projects, just adjust it to 5 crochet projects for this year, right? And tip number 6, which is the last tip, and it's a little cheesy, I know, but don't be hard on yourself, okay? Like I said, be willing to adjust. So if you need to just lower your goal or whatever, don't be hard on yourself, because you are still trying, and that is it's better than a lot of people, but more importantly, it's better than the you last year. So don't be hard on yourself, because you are making strides towards your goals, and that is amazing. Like, you should be proud of that. Even if you don't complete a lot of your goals, the fact that you set them and the fact that you took at least any effort to achieve it is better than nothing. And you can learn lessons from that and apply it to the next coming year. And that's how people get better in everything they do, by seeing where they went wrong, accepting it, and continuing to move forward. Because this feels like a motivational speech, but seriously, just being willing to just be proud of yourself, because seriously, even watching this video to take the step is a step worth taking, and it's a step towards your goals, even indirectly. So don't be hard on yourself. And I feel like I'm starting to get a lisp, so I'm sorry. Just don't be hard on yourself. I don't know how else I can phrase it. Like, I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself, because you could spend your whole life, rotting in your bed, but no, you chose to set goals and you took the time to do it, and that is commendable. So I will say, just be proud, okay? I feel like I said that 10 times, but be proud, okay? To wrap it up and to recap, my tips that I learned from my personal experience is to treat your goals like a checklist, create bite-sized steps, make tangible and quantitative goals, do weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, quarterly checkups or check-ins. I guess I've been saying checkups, but check-ins is probably a better word. Be willing to adjust, and don't be hard on yourself, okay? So with those tips, I hope you can apply them to 2025 or any year after this and make your goals come true. I believe in you. I believe in us, because I have a lot of goals this year, and I would say they're probably a lot harder than last year. So wish me luck, but I have confidence that I will be able to complete them every single last goal. I have complete faith that I will be able to accomplish them all. And one of my goals is actually to reach 100 subscribers. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content from me, make sure to like and subscribe down below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys, or hopefully I'll see you guys, but it's okay if not. I do actually plan on making another video called Gamifying Your Life, which, if you don't know what that means, it basically means treating your life like a game so that you can feel motivated to do things. Like, I know like it can be really helpful for people who just, like people with ADHD, I'm not self-diagnosing, but people who just struggle to complete tasks every day, just gamifying it, making it into something fun can help you. So if you want to know how to do that, that will be probably my next video, but if not, it will be the video after that. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.